Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tea Education. Thank you for joining me today and listening to the benefit or other benefits that you need to worry about whilst trying to lose body fat. I find that we are always kind of told calorie deficit in order to lose weight. Whilst this is true, there are other things that you can also take control of, which will also improve if you're going to be in a calorie deficit or not. So the three main ones that I want to cover today is movement, sleep, and hydration. For me, these are the three main factors that people are doing the worst in day-to-day life in comparison to everything else. And the reason why they do the worst in those two things, they just don't think it's a priority. But I'm here to tell you that actually these three things could be one of the reasons why you find being in a calorie deficit so hard and you struggle to do it. So the first thing that we're going to go through is movement. When we talk about movement and exercise, one thing that you need to remember is that you enjoy the movement and the exercise you're doing. I think we are stuck in a world where people think there is only one way to move your body. Yes, I am personally a big pusher of moving weights and weightlifting for females and males, just because I know when we get into older age how hard it is for us, and as we get older, to have power output, to have the same strength that we had. So weightlifting is more so to maintain the current strength we have as we age, because after 30, I believe it's like a 2 to 3% decline in muscle mass if you don't keep it up. So this is the reason why I push weightlifting. However, if weightlifting isn't your vibe at the moment, or it's not something that you enjoy, movement, all types of movement, walking is probably one of the most underrated styles of movement that you can do. Moving your body in a way that you enjoy. Like I said, walking is one of the most underrated tools. People will do a couch to 5k and not just try to increase their walk by like 1,000 or 500 steps extra a day. And achieving that could be something really easy by parking your car a bit further away from where you need to go to, like the supermarket, not taking the lift, taking the stairs, and just in general trying to walk distances that are walkable instead of taking the car. And increasing your movement, that's the one way you can do it without being laboured by it. The movement that you choose initially, especially if you're just starting out, is choose a movement that when you think about it, you really look forward to going and doing it. Because when you are starting out, you haven't got that consistency yet. You haven't built the kind of pillars of your why yet. You don't really know why you're doing it. So if you don't enjoy it, you're just not going to do it. So movement for me is probably one of the things that people really underrate and underdo. Things like simple things, like I said before, like walking. By doing these simple things, by ticking off those boxes, you're allowing more bodily functions to occur. By moving more, you're allowing more bowel movement. By moving more, you're able to basically breathe a bit more, because fat is oxidized and it's left through the way in which you breathe. So oxidization of our body, just moving, is just good for you in general. The second one, which I find people really struggle with and do very poor at, is hydration. The human body is 70% water, and for us to function, we all need water, which is hydrogen and 2 oxygens to function. We need oxygen for the oxidation process, for removing free radicals from the body, and free radicals are things that can kind of really cause problems in our internal system. So we need the oxygen, we need antioxidants, we need oxygen present for biological processes, we need the hydrogen ion to do stuff within the bodily function, and we are not hydrating enough. And the key thing about this word that I do want to say is hydration. It's not drink more water. Drinking more water is basically the cue that I would use for most of my clients. But the other question is, are you adequately hydrated? So are you getting enough potassium in? Are you getting in enough magnesium throughout the day? And more magnesium throughout the day, and the easiest way to get hold of it is by eating more green and fibrous vegetables. That almost goes back into nutrition, which I'm trying to avoid today. And the more fiber that you consume, the better your gut health is, and the better the magnesium, potassium levels are going to be for you. So better metabolic functions can occur. A lot of people really do underrate water or hydration. They will say, I had 4 cups of coffee, I've had 4 cups of tea. Both tea and coffee are dehydrating fluids. So they're doing the exact opposite of what you're doing. They don't refresh you in the way that you think it needs to. So by hydrating yourself, you're allowing more metabolic processes to go through. You're allowing your body to actually function the way it needs to function without feeling sluggish or lethargic whilst doing it. A lot of people think being lethargic comes from not eating enough food, but being lethargic can also stem from not drinking enough water or not being adequately hydrated. So are you getting enough potassium? Are you getting enough magnesium within your diet? If not, do you need to supplement? The best way to kind of know your kind of iron levels, I recommend, is getting a private blood test done. Most NHS doctors in the UK won't do that, but just to make sure everything is functioning okay, I definitely recommend some type of screening on your blood to kind of know where you're at and where you need to improve. The third and final thing that I want to cover today is sleep. We go to the gym, we train really hard, and we break down the muscle, but then we give our bodies only 2 hours of sleep. Sleep is where the body recovers. Recovery happens in sleep, especially in that deep REM, in that deep sleep where you're not moving, undisrupted sleep. That is where we really need to be, is having really good deep sleep as well as good REM, which is rapid eye movement sleep. Because again, that is where your brain connections are repairing themselves too. If you're not getting enough sleep, what this can lead to is an increase of 2 things, cortisol and ghrelin. I'm going to leave cortisol alone at the moment because I feel like people really try to negatively or stigmatize cortisol as being a bad hormone, but we require cortisol to wake us up in the morning. So cortisol is not a bad hormone. But what is a negative feeling of having poor night's sleep is an increase in ghrelin in the body. Ghrelin is the hormone that is required for hunger, and it's the hormone your body releases when you are hungry. So when you wake up after a bad night's sleep, or let's say you've gone out and you drank tons of alcohol, I think you could probably think back to those times how you feel absolutely hungry or absolutely famished, and all you want is a big fry up. That's why that poor night's sleep has caused you to spike your ghrelin, increase your hunger. And because you've got this unnatural level of ghrelin in your system, you are not going to have the kind of tools at your availability to stop eating or to rein yourself in because you feel that hungry. So taking that all on board, with poor movement, poor sleep, poor hydration, with those 3 things not being in check, you're highly likely really disrupting the way in which your body can lose body fat. So my tip to you today is, if you do not and cannot currently get on board with a calorie deficit or keep a food diary, make sure you move more, make sure you improve your quality of sleep, and make sure you stay hydrated. Thank you for listening, and hopefully catch you soon. Bye.